Most people will never understand this phase of your life. They see you quiet. They see you struggling. They see you working, but not winning. And because they don't see results, they assume there is no progress. But let me tell you something important. The most powerful growth happens in silence. Right now, you are in the invisible years. The years where effort doesn't equal applause. The years where discipline doesn't equal recognition. The years where pain doesn't equal sympathy. And this is exactly where most people quit. Not because they're weak, but because they're tired of being misunderstood. You wake up early. You stay up late. You repeat the same routines every single day. And still, nothing changes. No breakthrough. No reward. No public success. Just pressure. Just doubt. Just exhaustion. And slowly, quietly, a dangerous question begins to creep into your mind. Is this even worth it? That question has destroyed more dreams than failure ever could. Because failure at least teaches you something. But doubt? Doubt drains your soul. You start questioning your vision. You start questioning your ability. You start questioning your worth. People around you don't help either. Some laugh. Some doubt. Some politely discourage you. Be realistic. Why are you working so hard? Just relax. You're doing too much. They say these things because they cannot see what you see. They don't feel the fire in your chest. They don't hear the calling in your heart. They don't understand the hunger in your spirit. And that's okay. Because vision is lonely before it becomes legendary. Every great story starts the same way, with someone working hard while nobody believes in them. History never remembers the doubters. History remembers the disciplined. Right now, nobody claps for discipline. Nobody celebrates consistency. Nobody praises endurance. But that doesn't mean it's pointless. It means it's rare. And rarity always shocks the world. You see, hard work is deceptive. At first, it feels useless. It feels repetitive. It feels unrewarding. You give effort, but results delay. You sacrifice, but life doesn't respond. And this is where most people get it wrong. They think hard work should pay immediately. They think effort should be visible. They think consistency should be celebrated. But life doesn't work like that. Life is a delayed return system, just like planting a seed. You don't plant a seed today and expect a tree tomorrow. You plant it, water it, protect it. And for a long time, nothing happens. No sign, no proof, no reward. But underground, something powerful is happening. Roots are growing. Strength is building. Foundations are forming. And when it finally breaks the surface, it doesn't just grow. It explodes. Your hard work is doing the same thing. Even when you feel stuck. Even when progress looks invisible. Even when results refuse to show up. You are not stagnant. You are becoming. But becoming is painful. Because growth demands discomfort. Discipline demands sacrifice. Purpose demands isolation. You will lose people. You will lose comfort. You will lose certainty. But what you gain is far more valuable. You gain resilience. You gain focus. You gain self-respect. Most people never build self-respect. They look confident, but inside they're fragile. They talk big, but fold under pressure. They dream loud, but quit silently. Not you. You're learning how to suffer without quitting. You're learning how to move without motivation. You're learning how to show up even when you're empty. And that ability is dangerous. Because once you master discipline, you don't need motivation. You don't need approval. You don't need validation. You become unstoppable. Let me tell you a hard truth. Nobody cares about your effort. They care about your results. That's not cruel. That's reality. And instead of being bitter about it, use it as fuel. Stop explaining. Stop proving. Stop begging for belief. Work in silence. Let the work speak later. Because one day, they won't ask why you worked so hard. They'll ask how you did it. Right now, you're being tested. Not tested for talent. Not tested for intelligence. Not tested for luck. You're being tested for patience. Can you keep going without applause? Can you stay disciplined without results? Can you believe without evidence? Most people can't. That's why most people stay average. Average quits when it's boring. Average quits when it's lonely. Average quits when it's slow. But greatness? Greatness stays. Greatness understands something average never will. This phase is temporary. The struggle will not last forever. The silence will not last forever. The invisibility will not last forever. But quitting? That lasts forever. Every time you push through tiredness, you are training your mind. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you are sharpening your character. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you are separating yourself from the crowd. And separation always feels lonely. But that loneliness, it's proof you're doing something different. Right now, nobody sees your progress. But progress isn't always loud. Sometimes progress looks like saying no to distractions, repeating boring routines, staying focused while others relax, being tired but still moving. That's progress. And one day, all those invisible days will stack up. All those unnoticed sacrifices will compound. All those silent wins will multiply. And when the results finally show up, people will be confused. They'll say, "It happened so fast. They came out of nowhere." They're lucky. They say that because they weren't there. They didn't see the years of doubt. They didn't feel the weight of discipline. They didn't survive the invisible years. But you did. And because you did, your success will hit differently. This is the part of the journey where champions are forged. Not on stage, not in spotlight, not with applause, but in quiet rooms, early mornings, late nights, empty gyms, silent grind. This is where mental toughness is built. This is where identity is formed. This is where future shock is prepared. And make no mistake, one day your hard work will shock everyone, but only if you don't quit here. There comes a moment in every serious journey when motivation dies. Not weak motivation, not temporary motivation. I mean the kind where you feel nothing. No excitement, no energy, no hope, just routine. This is the phase nobody prepares you for. Because motivation speeches don't talk about this part. They talk about dreams, passion, fire, and hunger. But they rarely talk about emptiness. And yet, this is the phase that decides everything. Because when motivation disappears, only discipline remains. And discipline is the true separator. This is where the real battle begins. Not with the world, not with circumstances, not with other people, but with your own mind. Your mind will start attacking you. It will say, "You've been working too long with no results. Others are enjoying life while you suffer. You could quit and nobody would blame you. You tried. That should be enough." And the most dangerous thought of all, maybe this isn't meant for you. That thought sounds logical. It sounds reasonable. It sounds mature. But it's poison. Because that thought doesn't come from truth. It comes from fatigue. You are not failing. You are tired. And tired minds lie. This is the point where most people walk away. Quietly. Without announcement. Without drama. They don't quit loudly. They just slowly stop showing up. They skip one day. Then two. Then a week. Until the dream fades so quietly. They convince themselves it never mattered. But deep down, it always does. Regret is heavier than discipline. Always. If you're here, if you're at this breaking point, understand something clearly. This pain is not a sign to stop. This pain is a sign you are close. Every level has an entry fee, and the price of the next level is endurance. You don't grow when things are exciting. You grow when things are repetitive. You grow when things are boring. You grow when things hurt. Because growth requires pressure. This phase will humble you. You'll realize how weak motivation really is. You'll realize how fragile confidence can be. You'll realize how strong habits must become. This is when you stop relying on how you feel and start relying on who you decided to be. You stop asking, "Do I feel like it?" and start asking, "Is this who I am?" That shift changes everything. You see, discipline is not punishment. Discipline is identity. When you say, "I am someone who shows up no matter what," your actions stop depending on mood. Your progress stops depending on emotion. And that's when consistency becomes automatic. Let me be honest with you. There will be days when you hate the process. Days when you resent the grind. Days when you question your sacrifice. That doesn't make you weak. That makes you human. But champions don't quit on bad days. They outlast them. They understand something others don't. You don't need to feel good to do good work. You don't need to feel confident to act confident. You don't need to feel strong to be strong. You just need to keep moving. At this stage, your work becomes quieter. Your circle becomes smaller. Your focus becomes sharper. You stop talking about your goals. You stop explaining your plans. You stop seeking validation. Not because you're arrogant, but because you're tired of wasting energy. You realize silence protects momentum. This is also the stage where loneliness hits hardest. Friends stop calling. Family doesn't understand. People assume you changed. And they're right. You did. You chose growth over comfort. You chose discipline over distraction. You chose long-term purpose over short-term pleasure. That choice has consequences. Isolation is one of them. But isolation is not emptiness. It's incubation. This is where vision matures. This is where patience develops. This is where self-trust is forged. Let's talk about self-trust. Self-trust isn't built by success. It's built by keeping promises to yourself. Every time you show up when it's hard, your mind remembers. Every time you don't quit, your confidence grows quietly. And one day, you won't need motivation speeches anymore, because your past discipline will speak louder than words. This phase strips you down. No hype, no applause, no external fuel, just you and your standards. And here's the truth most people never hear. Standards create destiny, not goals, not dreams, not wishes. Standards. When your standard becomes, I don't quit, I don't skip, I don't make excuses, your results have no choice but to change. Some days, progress will feel microscopic. Some days, it will feel non-existent. But consistency doesn't work day to day. It works over time, like compound interest, like erosion, like pressure, slow, relentless, unstoppable. This is also where your mindset shifts. You stop expecting fairness. You stop expecting ease. You stop expecting support. And strangely, that frees you, because expectations are weight. When you release them, you gain clarity. You stop asking, why is this so hard? And start saying, this is what hard feels like. And you accept it. Acceptance is power. Let me say this clearly. You were never supposed to be understood early. You were never supposed to be celebrated mid-journey. You were never supposed to be comfortable becoming great. If it were easy, everyone would do it. And because everyone doesn't, your future success will be rare. And rarity always shocks people. Right now, your job is simple. Not easy, but simple. Show up. Do the work. Repeat. Even when bored. Even when tired. Even when doubting. Especially then. One day, this phase will end. Not because you wished it away, but because you endured it. And when it ends, you won't just have results. You'll have something far more valuable. Mental toughness. Self-belief. Unshakable discipline. And that version of you? That version doesn't lose. People will only see the outcome. They won't see this phase. They'll never know the nights you questioned everything. They'll never know the days you wanted to disappear. They'll never know how close you came to quitting. But you will. And that knowledge will make your success feel earned, not lucky. You are being built right now. Not for applause, not for approval, but for impact. And when the impact arrives, it will hit harder because of this phase. One day, without warning, everything will start to make sense. Not all at once. Not like a movie scene, but quietly. You'll wake up and realize something has changed. Your confidence feels heavier. Your presence feels stronger. Your standards feel non-negotiable. And the world? The world starts responding differently. Not because you demanded respect, but because you became undeniable. This is the moment people call overnight success. But you know better, because nothing about this was overnight. Your rise doesn't begin with applause. It begins with results. Small wins at first, then consistent wins, then undeniable progress. The same people who ignored you start watching quietly. The same people who doubted you stop making jokes. The same people who never supported you suddenly remember your name. And something strange happens. You don't feel excited. You feel calm. Because this isn't new to you. You lived this moment 1,000 times in your head. During the hardest days. This is the shock phase. Not because success arrived, but because it arrived inevitably. There was no surprise. Only confirmation. Confirmation that discipline works. Confirmation that patience pays. Confirmation that consistency never lies. People will ask, how did you stay motivated? How did you believe? How did you not quit? And you'll struggle to answer. Because the truth isn't glamorous. You didn't always believe. You weren't always confident. You weren't always strong. You just refused to stop. Your hard work shocks people because they never saw the work. They didn't see the boring days. They didn't see the repeated failures. They didn't see the loneliness. They didn't see the sacrifice. They only see the finish line. And from the outside, it looks like magic. But from the inside, it feels like survival. At this stage, something powerful happens. You stop needing validation entirely. Praise doesn't move you. Criticism doesn't break you. Because you've already proven everything to yourself. And self-proof is the strongest confidence there is. Your success doesn't make you loud. It makes you precise. You speak less. You choose carefully. You move intentionally. You understand the value of time now. Because you remember when time was all you had. You also begin to notice something else. People want access. They want advice. They want shortcuts. They want proximity. Some of them genuinely respect you. Some of them simply admire the outcome. And that's okay, because you're no longer bitter. Bitterness belonged to the struggling version of you. The disciplined version understands human nature. You don't resent people for doubting you. You thank them, because doubt trained your independence. Silence trained your focus. Loneliness trained your strength. Now comes the most important part. Legacy. Success isn't the end. It's the responsibility. You realize your journey wasn't just for you. It was proof. Proof that discipline beats excuses. Proof that consistency beats talent. Proof that patience beats luck. Your existence becomes evidence. Not because you preach, but because you live differently. Your habits inspire. Your calm intimidates. Your discipline challenges others. Not intentionally, naturally, because discipline radiates. You no longer chase motivation. You've become routine. You no longer fear failure. You've survived worse. You no longer rush outcomes. You trust process. This mindset. This is unshakable. And here's the truth few people ever hear. The real shock isn't your success. It's who you became while earning it. Your emotional control. Your patience. Your self-respect. Your standards. That's what separates you permanently. One day, you'll look back at the version of yourself that almost quit, and you'll feel gratitude. Not pride. Not ego. Gratitude. Because that version stayed. Stayed when it was lonely. Stayed when it was slow. Stayed when it was painful. And because they stayed, you now stand here. You understand now. Hard work doesn't just change outcomes. It changes identity. You are no longer someone who tries. You are someone who finishes. So if you're still in the dark phase, if you're still unseen, if you're still doubting, let this be the message you remember. Don't rush the shock. Don't chase applause. Don't explain your vision. Work. Stay disciplined. Stay patient. Stay quiet. Because one day, and that day will come, your hard work will shock everyone. And when it does, you won't need to say a word.